before there was dust blowing in the wind of Judea, before there were footsteps pressing into gravel, before there were cities, temples, empires, soldiers, or graves, there was the Word. He did not stand outside history, merely watching it unfold. He was the one who called the stars out of nothing, set fire in the heart of the sun, and opened the first rivers by his own will. Then the unimaginable happened. The one who made the universe stepped into his own world as a man of flesh and bone. He felt cold wind on his skin, hunger in his stomach, dust clinging to his feet, and resistance growing in the eyes of men. He did not come on a war chariot. No legions of angels cleared the public square before him. He came like light slipping into a room long accustomed to darkness. He came with a mission precise and deliberate, like an infiltration from eternity into a world dying from the inside out. You will see his first sign not on a battlefield, but at a village wedding where one family's honor quietly collapses. You will see him tear through every boundary, speaking at night with a teacher of the law, then at noon with a woman cast aside by society. You will see that the more each miracle lights up the truth, the tighter darkness closes its grip. You will stand before the tomb of Lazarus and realize that to call one friend out of death, he is signing his own death sentence. You will enter the final night where the King of the universe kneels to wash feet like a slave, then stands to face a band of soldiers carrying swords and torches, and with his eternal name alone, throws them to the ground. And if you love Bible stories told in a seamless, emotional, cinematic way, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fidelia Bible Stories. Come with us as we keep exploring stories that are not only about miracles and empty tombs, but about the one who is still present in this world, gently calling the lost back into life. This story does not begin at the manger or in Bethlehem. It begins in eternity, where the Word already was in the beginning, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Through him, all things were made. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. And then that very light stepped into the world of humanity. And his first campaign did not begin with thunder. It began at a wedding. Cana was not the place where anyone would expect an invasion from eternity to reveal itself. No temple, no parliament, no square of power. Just a small village, an ordinary wedding. Laughter, blessings, tables spread with food, jars of water, family members moving about, and a joy quietly turning into panic. The wine was running out to outsiders that might have looked like nothing more than an embarrassing inconvenience. But for a Jewish family, it was a stain on the very day that should have been their greatest joy. Their honor was slipping away little by little, quietly, in a way no one understood, except the people in the back rooms. And in that moment, Jesus was there. He did not preach a long sermon. He did not display his power before the whole village. He simply told the servants to fill the stone jars, used for ritual purification jars, meant for washing hands and bodies, water tied to the old order. Then that water became wine, not ordinary wine, the best wine, and it was both quiet and explosive at once. Because in his very first sign, Jesus was already doing what John wants us to see all through the gospel. He was not merely fixing a social embarrassment. He was signaling that a new age had begun. The water of the old ritual order was being turned into abundant wine. Human shame was not being patched over. It was being answered with overflowing abundance from another kingdom. He did not come merely to keep a few celebrations from falling apart. He came to change the very nature of the world itself. And then, instead of entering the center of power the way people would expect, he begins a chain of encounters that overturn every assumption. After Cana, everything escalates. He enters the temple and finds the place of prayer turned into a marketplace. Oxen, sheep, doves, money changing hands, bargaining voices, the sound of commerce, feeding on worship. The one who had just made wine for a wedding now takes cords and makes a whip. Tables are overturned, animals are driven out. The air of false holiness is ripped apart by holy anger. He did not come to make everyone comfortable. He came to expose whatever had taken the place that belonged to God. From that point on, the religious leaders begin paying attention not just with curiosity, but with suspicion. He does not ask permission. He does not move according to the rhythm they control. He speaks like one who possesses authority older than the temple itself. And into that atmosphere of tension comes a man at night, Nicodemus. Picture him, a Pharisee, a teacher of Israel, a man with standing knowledge and a position in the religious system. By day, he could debate, teach, judge, perhaps even sit in places of honor while truth was discussed. But at night, he comes to Jesus like a man lacking something that all his education and dignity have never been able to give him. He comes in darkness, not only because he fears the eyes of others, but because something inside him is dark as well. He knows there is something about Jesus he cannot explain. No one could do such signs unless God were with him. But Nicodemus still comes like a man, trying to touch the light without fully stepping out of the dark. And Jesus does not flatter his outward courtesy. He goes straight to the center.
Truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
A man may study the law for a lifetime and still never truly enter life. Nicodemus thinks in earthly terms, how can a grown man be born again? But Jesus is speaking of something deeper than flesh and blood, deeper than ancestry, deeper than outward religion. He is speaking of birth from above, renewal from the root, a life not patched together by law, but born by the Spirit. Then, that night, Jesus spoke the line history will never forget.
For God so loved the world, that he gave his only Son.
Even in the dark, he is speaking of love, but not a soft, harmless love, a love that is already moving toward the cross. Then John cuts sharply to a completely different setting, no longer a secret meeting at night, but at noon. The heat of Samaria presses down, Jacob's well. A woman coming out for water at the hour when no one else would come, because that is the hour chosen by people who want to avoid the eyes of the crowd. She does not come at night like Nicodemus, but under the blazing sun alone, like her own life. And Jesus is sitting by the well, weary from the journey. By every social rule of that world, he should not have spoken to her, but light is never afraid to go where others refuse to step. He asks her for water. Do not rush past that detail. The one who made the oceans is sitting beside a well tired. The one who brought water from the rock is asking a woman for a drink. And that woman is a Samaritan, a woman and a person with a past everybody knows. She is startled. Then, Jesus turns the conversation the way he always does.
Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again.
Then he touches the deepest wound in her life.
Go, call your husband.
I have no husband.
You have had 5 husbands, and the one you now have is not your husband.
How strange and beautiful that is. Jesus does not expose her past to shame her. He brings it into the light so that nothing has to keep hiding. This woman had lived with fragments, failed relationships, repeated heartbreak, and the eyes of a whole town weighing down on her life. But at noon that day, the Messiah did not use truth like a stone to throw. He used it like a key to open a door. She runs back into the town, leaves her water jar behind. The woman who had avoided the crowd is now the one calling the crowd to come. One encounter, and the whole direction of her life changes. That is how Jesus works. He does not merely give water, he creates a spring. But at the same time, pressure is tightening around him. Every sign, every conversation, every wall he breaks through. Every revelation that rises above the boundaries of religion makes the leaders more enraged. He heals a man who had been lame for 38 years beside the pool of Bethesda. 38 years waiting. 38 years of living alongside helplessness. Then Jesus steps in and says,
Get up, take up your bed, and walk.
And the man walks, but instead of melting the religious leaders into worship, the miracle provokes their fury because it happened on the Sabbath. Jesus is not only healing a body, he is striking their entire definition of authority. He reveals that the Father is still working, and the Son is working as well. And that one statement is enough for them to understand that he is making himself equal with God. From that point on, the pressure keeps climbing. He feeds the 5,000, then says,
I am the bread of life. If anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink.
He says,
I am the light of the world.
Every time he says, I am, it is not just a beautiful metaphor. It is the echo of the divine name. The leaders hear it, and they understand exactly what is happening. They are not enraged merely because he is unusual. They are enraged because he is touching the center, stepping into the place only God has the right to stand. Then he says,
Before Abraham was, I am.
And they pick up stones. No more debate. Now they want him dead. Then he opens the eyes of a man born blind, not merely healing sight, but creating a world for someone who had never seen light before. But the brighter the light shines, the more horrifying the spiritual blindness of the religious leaders is exposed. They investigate, threaten, expel the healed man, as though the most offensive thing is not blindness, but light arriving from a source they cannot control. And so the pressure keeps tightening. This is no longer a random chain of miracles. It is a campaign. Each step, each word, each sign is both revealing truth and dragging darkness out of hiding. And darkness reacts the way darkness always does. It tries to swallow the light. Then comes Lazarus, and here the whole story takes on a new weight. No longer a stranger beside the road or a nameless crowd. This is a friend, a family. He loves Martha, Mary, Lazarus, a home in Bethany where he has spent time, where there is the scent of real friendship. Then the message comes, the one you love is sick. And here the story takes the most painful turn of all. If it were us, we would expect him to leave at once, to hurry there, to heal immediately. That would be the beautiful version of the story. But John records a detail that is both painful and astonishing. Jesus deliberately stays 2 more days. Not because he does not care, not because he loves less, but because here, the miracle must pass through a deeper darkness for glory to be revealed more fully. When he arrives in Bethany, Lazarus has been dead for 4 days. 4 days means decay has already begun. The mourners have filled the house. Grief is no longer a looming fear. It has become a fact. Martha runs out to meet him.
Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died.
Mary comes later and says nearly the same thing. Both statements hold faith and pain at the same time. They do not doubt his love. They simply cannot understand why that love arrived so late. And here, Jesus wept. John 11:35. It is one of the shortest lines in all of Scripture, but it weighs as much as the world. He knows what he is about to do. He knows he is about to call Lazarus out of the tomb, and still he weeps. He does not stand back and analyze pain like a scholar. He does not view death like a theological problem. He steps into human grief and sheds tears right in front of the grave. The one who made life is weeping before the thing that has twisted the world he made. Then they open the tomb. The stone is rolled away. The smell of death may already have broken into the air. Martha even warns that her brother has been dead for 4 days. And then Jesus cries out,
Lazarus, come out!
And the dead man comes out. His hands and feet were still wrapped in burial cloths. His face was still covered. Life walks out of death. That is the summit. But it is also the signing of his death sentence, because the very moment Jesus gives life is the moment the leaders finally decide he must die. This is the exchange at the center of John's gospel. The light does not merely shine into the darkness. The light will allow darkness to think it has swallowed him only so he can break it open from the inside. Then comes the final night. The atmosphere is unbearably heavy. The disciples are there, but they do not understand what is coming. Judas is there too, carrying within him darkness that the others still cannot fully see. Betrayal is sitting at the same table with love. The hand about to receive bread is the same hand that will lead soldiers in before dawn. Jesus knows his hour has come, but he stands up, takes off his outer garment, wraps a towel around his waist, pours water into a basin, and kneels to wash the feet of each disciple. Let that image sink all the way in. The one who made galaxies is touching the dust-covered feet of ordinary fragile men who are about to run from him. This is not just a gesture of politeness, it is a reversal of all human order. The true king does not display his power by making others kneel. He reveals his glory by kneeling himself. Peter is confused. None of them understands. But Jesus is teaching through action what they will spend the rest of their lives learning. In his kingdom, power does not stand above. It bends low. Then the night opens. Judas leads the soldiers in. Swords, weapons, the sound of boots on the ground. The darkness of the garden is torn by the small flames of human torches, as though light from earth could somehow capture the light of the world. But Jesus does not hide. He steps forward and asks,
Whom do you seek?
They answer,
Jesus of Nazareth.
I am he.
That is all. But the weight of that name crashes into them like an invisible tidal wave. The entire band of soldiers draws back and falls to the ground. This is not a victim cornered by force. This is the one who remains fully in command, even of his own arrest. He allows himself to be bound. They are not strong enough to take him otherwise. From there, the pain moves quickly. The false trial, the accusations, the scourging, the crown of thorns, the purple robe of mockery. A man of real flesh and blood, bearing real lashes, real blood, real thorns, real thirst, real pain. Then on the cross, after he has drained everything appointed for that hour, Jesus cries out,
It is finished.
Not, I have been defeated, but it is finished. Whatever the word came into the world to accomplish here, it is completed. The light has entered the very heart of darkness. He bows his head and gives up his spirit. Then on the third day, Mary Magdalene comes to the tomb and weeps. She is not standing there, wrapped in triumph. She is standing there in despair, thinking even her Lord's body has been taken away. The real grief of someone who believes she has just lost Jesus all over again. And he is standing there, but she thinks he is the gardener. How strange. The greatest resurrection in all of history is not first unveiled before kneeling armies, but through the tears of one woman, through a misunderstanding so human, so small, ordinary. Then he calls her by name,
Mary.
And with that one word, the whole universe shifts inside her heart. She recognizes him not through blazing glory, but through the way he says her name. That is the risen Christ in John, great enough that the grave cannot hold him, near enough to call one weeping woman by name. But the story does not end at the empty tomb. The resurrection does not merely prove that Jesus has conquered death. It also heals the people who were shattered when he died. One of them is Peter, the one who spoke boldly, the one who drew the sword, the one who swore he would never leave his master. Then, beside a charcoal fire in the night, he denied him 3 times, not before kings, not before executioners, but before small questions. Peter did not merely lose courage. He lost the image he had of himself. And John takes us to another morning, this time by the sea. Early mist, water, a few exhausted disciples, a charcoal fire. The risen Jesus is standing on the shore. He is cooking fish. The one who has just defeated death is making breakfast. Once again, infinite power appears clothed in ordinary tenderness. And there beside that charcoal fire, Peter meets Jesus again. This fire faces the other fire. Night faces dawn. Denial faces restoration. Jesus does not pretend Peter never failed, and he does not crush him beneath shame. 3 times he asks, "Do you love me?" 3 times Peter is restored. 3 times he is commissioned, "Feed my sheep." No voice of condemnation. No destruction of the man who fell. Only healing so deep that the charcoal fire itself, symbol of Peter's most painful memory, becomes the place of restoration. And that is how the Gospel of John closes, not with an empire collapsing overnight, but with a meal, a shoreline, a woman called by name, a disciple restored, and a world that will never be the same again. Because the one who stepped into this world from eternity did not come merely to perform a few astonishing signs. He came to reveal the Father, to call light into darkness, to step into hunger, thirst, tears, betrayal, the grave, and death itself. And from inside all those places to open a way that no one else could ever open. And this is our story too. Some are like Nicodemus walking through religion, while the inside of them still feels as dark as night. Some are like the Samaritan woman, carrying a history of brokenness and a thirst no well can satisfy. Some are like the man born blind, living a whole life in darkness and never knowing what true light even looks like. Some are like Martha and Mary, standing before a Lazarus in their own lives, someplace already 4 days dead. Some situation already smelling like hopelessness and wondering why Jesus came so late. Some are like Peter, having denied the Lord beside some dark charcoal fire of their own, and no longer knowing whether they can ever be used again. The Gospel of John speaks to every one of those people. The word has come, the light has entered, life has touched death, and the darkness has not overcome him. If this story touched your heart, please write in the comments, "Lord, step into my darkness and call me by name." And if you love Bible stories told in a seamless, emotional, cinematic way, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fidelia Bible Stories, so that together we can keep stepping into stories that are not only about signs, tears, and empty tombs, but about the one who is still stepping into our world today, gently calling the lost back into life.